Golden, is that your music playing in the background?
Yeah, is
Do
that
I?
you?
Is there music? Hold on. Hey, Laura. Hey, can you turn that down a little bit? Huh?
Hi, turn that down.
Hold on. And it might actually, I have Division playing right now. I got to turn that down too.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Controller clicking in the background.
Where in the fuck?
This is a top 10 iTunes podcast.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah, man, we hit 8. We were top 10 for like 3 or 4 days this past week.
Really? How about
That is
that?
awesome.
That is something. That is
Yeah, man.
something. All right. How's that now? Are we good?
I think it's
Yeah,
great.
that's
Imagine you look
Okay.
fantastic tonight, Golden. I like
Thank
the
you.
for the
Thank
show.
you. By the way, the glasses, I like them. Good job. How's the tooth, by the way?
Yeah, I can't see my screen, so I don't know. It's fine.
Oh, dude,
Stitches,
that look. That's the worst.
Stitches started bugging me, so I started just
Oh,
because I'm a beast.
beast.
All right, let's go. 3,
All right,
2,
so-
1.
Yep.
Here's the clap. So we'll sync that up, and here we go. Welcome to DZR Episode 9 of the Dark Zone Report. I'm Danthrax. I'm your host for the evening. Got a full house and a very special guest. Let's go around, everybody. On my left, returning after a week off, Mr. GoldenBoi. How you doing, Golden?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much, man. And on his left, we have Golden Graham. What's up, Graham?
How's it going? Good to be back.
And you are sounding nice on that sweet new Yeti microphone.
Look at that
I'm
thing,
sounding
man.
Smooth.
Jeez.
Silver and shiny. It's
Wow.
beautiful.
Man, I feel left out. Wow. Thing is nice, dude. Wow.
Yeah, it's not actually plugged in. It's just there.
It's just aesthetics. Yeah.
It just looks nice.
Microphone achievement unlocked.
Nice. Nice. Level 5. Level 5.
And then finally, a special guest for the night. It's either AwesumSawzz or AwesumSawzz. It's one of those crazy spellings. Joining the show for the evening, AwesumSawzz. What's going on, man?
Woo! Not much, man. Just playing some Division, hanging out. Good stuff.
Well, brother, thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
thank you. Appreciate being here.
Hey, why don't you just give, for the people that might not know you, just give them a little background on who you are and what you do and where they can find you?
All right, so I am AwesumSawzz. I'm a streamer. I stream on Twitch. I do that pretty much 5 times a week, 4 times a week. I started out playing the Super Nintendo. We had Bomberman. I didn't really play it much. Then I got my Game Boy, and I will admit that I was a Pokeboy. I played Pokemon, and that's where I started. That's where this all started, was on Pokemon. And so played lots of games. Fable was probably my biggest RPG as a kid. But when I got to college, that's when I got serious about gaming. I got absolutely sucked into World of Warcraft. I was that guy for about 3 years, and that was my life. So did that for a very long time, and just due to work and life stuff, I had to stop playing. And so Destiny rolled around, played that for a very long time. Pretty much that was my game. And now Division is out, and that's where I am, shooting people in the face with a sniper rifle. It's great.
Nice.
No, that's awesome, man. And how have you actually found Division as a streaming game? Does it seem like the people are engaging with it?
Yeah, I've found it a lot of fun. It is... I don't know. We'll have to see how in-game goes. I know a lot of people are still hanging around with Destiny because you can just jump into PvP, do that for hours and hours and hours, and have viewers and just chat with them. So Division is a little bit different. You're going to be doing a lot of running around, just doing some mission stuff and talking to people, swearing. It's good. It's great.
Yeah, and hey, man, really appreciate you being on the show. Sauce is actually an Xbox player, so
Yep.
promise we've brought one onto the program, and yeah, first of, we'll see. If he's good, might be the first of many appearances. If he sucks, this will be the first and last time.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out.
We didn't do any kind of pre-screening, so it's really, this could go either way. But anyway, thanks for being on the show, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
For sure. So a couple things, guys. Let's hit some show news first, and then we'll get right into the game. If you weren't aware, the division dropped this week, which means we've been playing a lot. Some pretty exciting DZR news, though. We actually cracked the top 10 on iTunes this week, which was a huge thing, something we had been thinking about and kind of looking forward to. And, we were excited a couple weeks ago to crack the top 50. And then last week we spent a number of days in the top 10, reaching as high as 8, and spent pretty much all the week in the top 20. So that's big stuff, man. And we certainly appreciate everybody that listens and downloads and comments and shares and everything like that. It's pretty exciting for us, and we appreciate everybody listening. Also, there was another design that launched this week from the DZR Rogueware collection, kind of sweet agent-looking guy on a black tee. If you are into T-shirts, game T-shirts, it's like a fan art-inspired deal for the division, and it helps support the show. So if you're interested, you can check that out at teespring.com/stores/DZR. All right, that's enough of that stuff. Let's get right into the game chat. I think where I want to start, guys, is just kind of some general, fair warning here. We're not going to do a ton on the end game this week. There's only one of us, and we'll get to that. There's only one of us here that actually cracked 30. And so we'll let him talk a little bit about the end game. We'll certainly talk about some of the stuff that's been going on Reddit with the end game. But, we're going to talk more about kind of the interim stuff. Next week, we hopefully will have some more guys at 30, and we'll get into that end game a little bit more. But real quick, before we do that, today I tweeted out and said, hey, if you're out there and you have a favorite gun, let us know, and we'll give you a shout on the chat. And the listener that sent something in, there was only one. Jer DeBear sent in and said his favorite weapon is the Vector 45 ACP. Anybody rolling with that gun?
I think I am. I wish I had a companion app that I could check right now.
Right.
I agree. That would be nice.
I think I am rolling with that as my primary right now. I think I have it at like 22,000 damage, and it's pretty beastly with the 43% extended mag. So it's pretty nice. I think I would agree with our what's his name?
It's Jer DeBear.
Jer DeBear. I agree.
The Vector 45 ACP, Golden Graham approved. Another guy, Hillbilly Whisperer, that's a great handle, wrote in and said, Dark Zone Report, it was the Midas until you nerfed it. Stop giving in to whiners, let them go play Destiny. Well, first of all, my friend, I think you overstayed our influence just a little bit. DZR is not responsible for nerfing anything. And I've actually heard some great things about the Midas. Haven't gotten to play with it yet, but look, game balancing, we can talk about this in a little bit, guys. I mean, I for one, nerfs are always a tough thing. It's one of those deals where you can very easily go too far and totally wipe out a gun that just take it out of rotation entirely, but you got to balance the game. I mean, that's just going to be part of any game that has a PvP component. So, sorry, brother, we didn't nerf it. Don't hold it against us. And I hope you find the next OP weapon and get some time with it before
they nerf it.
Before they nerf it as well.
We won't tell you the next time we find an OP weapon. We'll just kill you in the Dark Zone with it.
Exactly.
Exactly right. All right, so let's do some overall Week 1 impressions. First question, guys. Let's just go around the horn. Are you having fun? GoldenBoi.
Yes, I am.
Would you care to elaborate?
Here's the thing, man.
He's so exuberant.
This game was it's about time. Thank you very much, because I feel like this one's for the actual PvP players and actual real RPG players that have been looking for that RPG element with a shooter. In my opinion, they nailed it. As far as the end game content, I hope they do good, because I've had a lot of fun with the game.
GoldenBoi, brought to you tonight by Ubisoft and Massive Studio. Nah, man. I agree. I mean, so I told you guys last week, I think, I actually planned my wisdom tooth removal, or I had 4 wisdom teeth taken out this week, and I planned it around the launch of the division so that I would get
dedication.
Yeah, man.
You hear that? Hear that, Ubisoft? Send this man a sweatshirt, please. This guy's a major surgery around your game release. He deserves a sweatshirt.
A sweatshirt, yeah, or like, yeah, something. But no, it was, so it was good, man. I got to spend a lot of time with the game. A good portion of that, I was on some pretty serious painkillers. So, you know, I think I did a lot of wandering around looking at snow and stuff. But I really enjoyed it, man. It was a fun week, and I am having a lot of fun with the game. How about you, Golden Grams?
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying leveling up. I'm kind of taking my time. I love all the little reading of the little facts and all the little story lore that's kind of hidden around. Yesterday I found a drone that was up in the sky, and I was trying to spend like 10 minutes just trying to find out how to get the drone so I could figure out what the heck was going on there. But yeah, it was. I love it. I'm having a blast. The story is in making me involved, and I'm caring about my character and trying to upgrade my boo. So yeah, I'm having a blast. I'm kind of just taking my time with it and saturating in it.
Awesome. How about you, Sauce?
I am having an absolute blast playing this game. My 3-year anniversary with my girlfriend was on Tuesday, so launch day. And I was somehow able to convince her to give me a couple of hours to play the game, which I was very happy about. So thank you to her.
Put a ring on it.
I actually bought the book, and I have just been absolutely immersed in the story this week, and it's been amazing. I've been going through the book, like looking for secrets and things, and it's been a lot of fun learning about what's going on. I just want to know what happened. And so I'm just going after story really hard right now, playing through, doing what I can, having fun, shooting people in the face. It's absolutely amazing. It's a great game.
Yeah, and I heard it was funny. You know, this game, I think, for a little while longer is going to have those kind of constant comparisons to Destiny, even though they're not even remotely the same game. But one of the things that I was reading somebody said was, you know, what Division did was they took the grimoire and they put it in the game, you know, and
yeah,
which I've just really enjoyed, man. Like you said, just walking around and getting these little tidbits of like the cell phone conversation or the laptop, and you're starting to kind of understand the characters. They got a lot of personality with the people at each safe house, and just really fun.
I was cracking up with the I forget what district it's in, but the JTF officer there who's like got allergies. Have you heard of him?
That was
He's like hawking a loogie. He's like, oh, sorry.
It's so gross.
It's hilarious. I started cracking up.
Shouldn't we be worried about that? Aren't we trying to avoid that?
Yeah, it's like, dude, you sure that's allergies or is that the
slightly worried
death there?
Ugh.
Virus.
Ugh.
I like the guy that sounds like Ladies Man. You know the guy I'm talking about? Where he's like, you don't look like you're scared. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Just some sweet loot. It's been cool. And one of the other things, too, is as you kind of go through, there's this one safe house, and I'm trying to remember which one it is. That is the one that has the kind of a memorial when you first come in with the people crying and stuff. You know the one I'm talking about? I think it might be... Is it Grindhouse? I don't know. You walk in and like somebody right there's like this wall of pictures that they're looking at, and this person's just there, you know, like crying or whatever. And you know, they're like those kind of moments where you really get this sense of like human suffering and things like that, which just they made the game deep in terms of those interactions, and I don't know.
Yeah, the acting has been great in it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to get to know everybody. I want to know all of the little characters and just the fanboy, mission guy. He was fun to listen to as well. Just loving everyone.
Yeah. No, and I think, look, if it's any kind of indication of how they're going to continue to grow the game, it is Grindhouse, by the way, is the one that has the person crying when you first come in. Oh man. It's going to be good. And yeah, so everybody overall, pretty fun first week. You guys have any problems running any bugs and glitches out there? I mean, I'll start with that. I was going to hop on Tuesday night and stream, but I spent 45 minutes at that laptop trying to get activated. Which
that was ridiculous.
Not a good way to start,
That's ridiculous.
Were you guys able to get right in, or?
It took me about 5 or 10 minutes. I kind of kept on going out and in again, and then finally I was able to get in there. But yeah, I was similarly frustrated, but not a good first impression.
No, for sure.
I got the digital copy, and I was on right away. But then we played for 15 minutes, and then we were kicked for I don't know how long. But they took care of it actually pretty quick. We were playing again within I don't know, an hour.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I've run in. Xbox hasn't had many issues in my experience. So take that. Also, I actually started a self-kill counter on my stream. I have it up just above my camera, where I keep track of the number of times that I have to kill myself because I've gotten stuck on some piece of landscape. So I've gotten stuck on just some wall and I can't get out. I'm running full sprint in place. So just grenade on the ground, kill myself. That's number one. So I've done that 4 times as of right now.
Oh, wow.
I haven't had too much of a problem since Thursday, I think, when they took everything down or whatever day that was.
Yeah, did the maintenance
update.
Yeah, the update.
I only had one or two weird things. One was when I died, I literally died, and I was jumping in the middle of the air. I guess I got a grenade. So my view was I was frozen in the middle of the air, with my hands up like this. And then everyone else that I was with said oh yeah, you're dead on the ground, a floor below you. And I was I don't even see that. And then so that was weird. So they couldn't revive me because I'm up here, but they're down there. And then the only other thing I saw, I don't know if you guys have seen this too, where it's it's almost lagging. And there's almost a floating gun that's just walking around.
Okay.
The gun is just walking around by itself.
That sounds awesome. I think they did that on purpose. They want there to be ghosts in the division. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
You unlock that later in the tech wing. Once you've unlocked everything else.
The ability cloak.
That's in an Echo where you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
They totally explained that.
Floating gun just walking around.
Yeah.
No, and I've actually, I was able to spend a lot of time on today for whatever. So we're recording this on Sunday. I got kicked a bunch today. Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seemed like every couple minutes I was getting kicked, which was a little, it's just annoying. You're in the middle of an encounter or whatever, and you get kicked out. But other than that, man, I'd say it's been pretty good. It's been pretty smooth. I mean, I've gotten caught on a couple things, like you said, Sauce. Nothing too crazy. For Ubisoft launch for first week of the game, pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the next thing I want to check what do you guys think about the level of content? You guys still, I mean, obviously we haven't chewed through it all, but is everybody kind of good with, I mean, how are you kind of finding things to do? And, certainly it seems like they definitely addressed the NPC problem that they talked about.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Going from place to place, just running into 7 groups of enemies between each.
It's almost annoying now. You're I just want to get over that side mission.
I wish there were fewer. Oh.
Yeah, it was funny. I was trying. There's this locked door in. Where is it? It's in Murray Hill, I guess. And I keep trying to get to it. And there's this outpost of LMB between me and this locked door, and I'm just not strong enough yet. It's I have the lockpick. I just want to get to the door. I just keep running in. But yeah, definitely in the dark zone, outside of the dark zone. They definitely did step up the NPC, and I've been pretty happy with the content. I mean, I think, the stories, the story missions, if you will, have been, in my opinion, really good. Really interesting design. There were a couple where they mixed in some mechanics where you were the ones where you're dealing with the valves and just different things like that where they kind of mixed in some different mechanics. But interesting settings. early on I was a little concerned because it seemed like all the bosses we were running into were essentially the same thing. It's like here comes a really slow guy with tons of shield that's just gonna blast your flamethrower or whatever. But that actually turned around when we hit that mission with the where the lady sniper that's the leader of the Rikers. Her name is eluding me, but it was nice to see a boss that was a different kind of archetype, and as we've kind of gone through, we're seeing more and more, and I think one of the things I'm really happy about is they definitely captured a different kind of tactical personality for each of the factions.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've sworn at the camera far more than I am proud of at this point. Just getting blown apart by 7 different guys that just flank you because you're just trying to sit in one spot and snipe or whatever you're doing. So I really like the level of content. I mean, I do not think I will be able to finish everything for a while now. I mean, it's almost overwhelming, just the amount of stuff to do. So, I mean, I'm very happy with it. I think it would be nice to have a little bit clearer picture for new people of where to go next and what to do and how to do it. But other than that, I think it's definitely a great level of things to do, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too, like you're saying, I mean, I guess that's the trick when you kind of look at open world games, right? Is that you can't have it be both open world and linear. I mean, I guess one of the things they could do is, it's funny because the story missions, or at least the side missions, are one of the least kind of standout items on the map, right? They're kind of this muted, whereas, at least in my mind, and we could talk a little bit about we're going to talk a little bit about progression systems later, but the side missions have been one of kind of the most important parts of getting me to where I am. It's been main story, it's been side missions, it's been doing encounters to get kind of points to open up different areas in my boot, but I hear what you're saying. Maybe there's some way they could have made it a little clearer about you do this mission. And
yeah. I mean, I don't want to be like in Destiny where it's you have to do this one, you have to do this one. But right. I think for people that are new to the genre, especially something like The Division, I think it would definitely be nice for people to have a clearer path of where to go, or at least at the beginning say, okay, do this, go to the next thing, do this one. I don't know. Not going to tell them how to do it. They can figure it out.
Yeah. Have you guys been playing mostly solo or in groups?
I've been playing groups, and if I have a couple minutes, if I have like 20 minutes, I'll just do solo, do some side missions or something like that. But when I'm trying to do big things like missions, I'll gang up with some of you guys, or a couple times when no one's been on, or for a while there, it was a little bit of a level discrepancy. I would actually just matchmake, and it was really easy and really great. I'd usually get at least 2 other guys that would join me, and they were around the same level as me, so it kind of all scaled out the right way, and it was good. They weren't bad.
Yeah, I've had probably a kind of a nice mix between both solo and group play. I think most of my solo stuff has been side missions, encounters. I actually went into the Dark Zone solo today, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
I did that as well. Yeah, which actually wasn't terrible. But
yeah, it worked out okay for me. But but for the missions and stuff, I'm playing a lot in groups. I mean, so let's talk a little bit about Graham. You mentioned the level scaling thing, and I want to spend a couple minutes on that. But before we go there, Golden, I think you're muted, brother.
Confirmed. In the hangout.
Can't hear you, brother.
Still muted.
I love post-processing. Try it touch your laptop or whatever, man. Like, do the thing.
Yeah, it's not the headset. It's on the hangout.
There we go.
There we go.
There he is.
I never touched it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Strange.
All right.
It was me. I muted you because I heard sounds in the background, but I thought I could unmute you, but I can't.
That's what I thought. I was like, I know I didn't mute it. I actually saw it. It said Tim muted. I was like, all right.
Oh, fine. Be like that.
Yeah, right? Wow.
All right, so this will be the end of the part we're cutting, and Yeah, I mean, I think the level scaling has been interesting. You know, it was funny because the other day, so Graham was on. I guess Graham at the time you were like what, a 14 or something?
Yeah, I was like 14, and you were like 23 at that point already.
Yeah, something like that. And so it was like, all right, man, I'll just help you. You know, let's just knock some stuff out. I'll just go in. We'll give you a hand. You know, we'll make quick work of it. And the first part of it, where I actually joined him, everybody was level 12s, which was awesome. I was just like shooting the guy in the foot so Graham could finish him off. But then when we moved into the next area, even within the same mission, without us wiping, everybody had scaled up. And so if you haven't kind of run into this yet, the way we can kind of figure that the scaling works is it will essentially scale within reason. There's kind of a spectrum, but it's essentially going to scale to the highest level of your team. The highest level, you know, whoever's the highest member on your team, it's going to scale to them. Now, within reason. So, like, it'll cut off, you know, for instance, it might cut at level 20 or 22 or something like that. But it's definitely going to scale to whoever's the highest. And so it makes for a really interesting gameplay experience if you're trying to run it with a buddy and you're at very disparate levels. Did you guys have any kind of encounters with that?
I mean, I ran into it with a couple of people that I was running with, and it's really frustrating for them because I just want to help out a lower level friend, and they're just being blown apart by whoever we're playing. I'm not having a problem because I was, let's see, I think I was like 19 at the time, and I was playing with somebody who was like a 6. So from what I saw, I think it just cuts in half between the high level and the low level, and then cuts right in the middle. So essentially, if you have a level 30 player playing with a level 4, that level 4 is going against level 16 enemies, which is
25.
That's
Is that what it was?
25. Yep.
Okay.
25. It was.
That's insane.
If I was level 30 and I brought plenty of people through, and it was 25 every time.
Wow.
Yeah, no more
That's insane.
sherping there a little bit.
I mean,
so.
I know they want to keep it
No,
interesting.
30. You can cut through at 30. You can run through the whole mission and have people just behind you the whole time. 30. I mean, 30 on the 25s on the story missions is really not. It's not hard at all.
It's like, here's your opportunity to learn the support roles.
Yep.
Just shoot with the doctor.
Just keep me alive. Yep. There you go.
Smart cover, yeah, whatever.
Dr. Gun. That's all you need.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's an interesting design choice. I mean, you kind of can see why they did it, right? Because they do want. It's kind of like if you're going to bring somebody in that's a whole lot, you know, that's way overpowered for the mission. It seems like they kind of went the angle of, well, all right, that's fine. You can do that, and you're going to get loot that's better, and you're going to get, you know, you're going to be able to just kind of walk through it, but you're not going to have a really fun time if you're the lower level player.
Yeah.
In that setting. I mean, I don't know how to feel about it. It's one of those things out on the Reddit today that people were really. I was doing some reading. People were really going back and forth with what the right way to do that is.
I mean, I see it as they're trying to make it a little bit more challenging for those higher level players, but I don't know. I'd rather them scale me as opposed to the enemies. I don't know. That might just be me.
Yeah, so that's one of the ways. It's funny when you're reading people's comments about how to handle it. That's one of the things that people said was just scale me down a little bit. And some of the mention was like, you know, Destiny had this level gap where your damage would increase, but only to a certain point, right?
Because I mean, I have friends that really want to play the game, and I would love to play with them, but they don't want to play against people that they can't kill and just let me do everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess we have 4 character slots, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to a next character slot, to tell you the truth, because there's just
I agree.
so much to do. But, you know, the other point on that scaling thing is I was reading someone said, look, I understand it's a problem, but by the way, it's also really frustrating if you've spent all this time and built this powerful character and then you go in and get scaled down. You know, it doesn't seem like the perfect solution either. So, I don't know, man. It's a tricky one. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I went through with Golden and a couple of guys. We were doing, what was that mission, GoldenBoi? It was like a 20,
I'm looking right now.
27 or 28 or something like that. And I mean, I was like a 25 or a 26, so I was able to do some damage. It was just I was getting one shot constantly.
Yeah.
You know,
Which one?
it was still fun, but I was doing a whole lot of smoke cover, and how can I help the big boys is pretty much my role.
Grand Central Station.
Grand Central Station, yeah,
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
And a great mission, by the way. A lot of fun. I've liked them. I've liked them pretty much all of them. Hey, next thing on this, guys, week one impressions. What would you say your weighting of Dark Zone versus PvE play has been?
Well, my experience with the PvP has been that mission that sends you into the Dark Zone, running in and then running immediately out. That is all I have done in the Dark Zone. I ran in, I just kept spinning around looking for people. Don't kill me, please. And then just ran straight out. I was done. That was it. That's all I've done so far.
Yeah, I tried to go in. I think I was like level 12 or something like that, and I guess we went in the wrong entrance or something. And we came in, and as soon as we went in, there was like level 20 bad guys right there, and they just destroyed us. So then we just left, and then I hadn't gone back for a long time, and then finally, like I said, I'm about 25 now, and I went in this afternoon, and it actually wasn't bad. I went in to just DZ01, DZ02. And I was able to take down a pretty decent amount of enemies, got a couple good gear, went to an extraction point, and the other thing is that it helped us think there was a lot of guys that were working together at the extraction point, so that actually was helpful. And so we were just kind of all, getting our gear out there, so that it wasn't that bad. So I'm excited to see what happens when I get to 30 and how that changes in the dark zone and with all the awesome gear that's available in there as well.
Yeah, so I had a similar experience today. I was just like, you know what, I want to jump in and just kind of check out and see what the Dark Zone's about. I figured, what I've been trying to do is kind of do it between... my intention was, what the player brackets are, right? And so I wanted to get to the point where I was like 24, right, or 19, and go in then so that I was kind of one of the more powerful people in there. I always missed it because you just get caught up in the PvE or whatever. But then, I actually went in today. I guess I was a 27, so I was in that 25 to 29 bracket. Actually met up with a guy right away who said, hey, you want to partner? You want to team up? And I said, yeah, and the two of us ran around and did stuff, and we ran into some other guys that kind of joined, but it was a cool kind of thing, man. Just ran into somebody, he was a cool guy, wanted to partner up. We went, got a bunch of purples, and... it was good. I really like the, the bad guy kind of encounters, the landmark system, the way they set that up, the fact that they tell you, if there's a boss there.
Yeah, that was a big change.
Yeah.
The purple, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just run over there. There's nobody here. All right, let's run to the next one. Nobody there. All right, we've just wasted 30 minutes of our time. Great.
Yeah, and you can kind of avoid that now, and I think it's definitely made it a lot better. And I like those encounters. I've really enjoyed those encounters, kind of in the Dark Zone with the bosses and stuff. You get the elites, and I don't know, man. It's just fun. I don't know how to say it other than that.
So how many rogues have you guys been seeing? Have you been seeing a lot, or is it kind of smaller? Because a lot of people were wondering how, versus the beta, the last day of the beta, everybody went rogue. What is it looking like in terms of balance?
I think it's going to go that way.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Once you hit 30, it scales so everyone in there is 30. So sooner or later, there's going to be so many people that are 30, and then everybody's going to be running squads on each other.
Yep.
Now, and the tactics that I've seen in there, I mean, already we're a week into it, and way better tactics, thought out stuff. I mean, people waiting around corners, baiting you in, and it's going rogue, because what happens is you almost not really run out of content, but it's like, okay, I've got some really good gear. I've done the missions I want to do. I've helped out some friends. Hey, let's go to the Dark Zone. So then next thing you know, you're in the Dark Zone, you're hanging out, and you're like, well, hey, let's start killing people. And then you start killing people. And then you start winning every single time. So then and then you go on a manhunt and people are after you the whole time, and you're just shooting, you're doing a firefight down the street. Hell, I was with a group, and you guys played with a Ranger Murph, and we were hollering on the microphone. It was so much fun. But I think that is what the Dark Zone is gonna turn into, is a big Wild Wild West shootout between manhunts and players, and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think part of that's going to be too. I mean, one of the things that I think is still out there and is still a bit of an issue is I think maybe once or to a certain point, Golden, that's going to become a thing. I mean, for me, so right now I don't know what my level is in the Dark Zone. I think it's only like 17 or something. Man, I don't want to give up the XP. I don't want to give up the credit.
I hear you.
Yeah.
When you have it, you're kind of like, all right, why not? Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's going to be one of those things where that might be the dynamic, because it's like the penalties are so steep for going rogue.
Yeah, and like everybody's worried about like the policing people who are just going to group up and they're just going to hunt rogues. Mm-hmm. And so I think at 30, I'm very interested to see, like, a few weeks from now when a lot of people are 30, like you were saying, I think it's very interesting to think about where are we going to be. Are we going to have people that are just going to hunt everybody down, or is it going to be balanced, or is it going to be everybody trying to go rogue? I'm really interested to see.
Yeah, there's that. Like I said, that I was really encouraged by those other players helping me and helping each other, trying to get that gear out of there. But I was actually like higher than them. I was like level 23, and they were like 14 and 19. So they probably also weren't going to mess with me because I was a little bit higher level. Mm-hmm. They knew I would wreck them. But yeah, I'm excited to start talking. 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, like you said, GoldenBoi. Like, what are the tactics that we can best use to, a sniper up top and having Overwatch and kind of having someone that's playing the dummy running around trying to draw people into a closed alley or something like that. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. No, and I think too, it's been funny. There have been some really funny moments with the proximity chat. I don't know if you guys have had as well, where it's like they don't realize that you can hear them. I remember one time we were playing with a couple of kids, and they were like, "Oh man, he's a level, whatever. He's a level 19. We don't want to mess with him." Or at one point we were like standing around an extraction zone, and you hear somebody like, "Hey, should we take him, or should we?" We're right here. But I don't know, it's pretty funny. I like too. One of the things we talked about early on was that I wanted that extraction flare to be like a signal for all the NPCs to come running. And I like that to some degree. You feel like that's happened. Whether or not there's other players coming or not. Putting an extraction flare up, you better take up positions, you better be ready, and I love that, man, because talk about realism, like you're shooting a flare into the air, you're like, come and shoot us.
I actually used that to my advantage because I went to the extraction gear and I had a full Dark Zone gear bag, and I extracted once, and then I just waited there, and because other guys did, and all the NPCs would come, and I'd shoot them, and they'd drop more gear, so I would pick it up, and by the time that the extraction came, I had more stuff that I could extract, so it actually kind of worked to get guys to come to me. Now that's granted, no one was shooting me besides NPCs, but still, it was pretty good, effective that way.
Yeah, it's like a nice little like double dip or whatever. Yeah, that's cool, man. All right, so any other kind of comments on week one? We talked a little bit about the AI design. You guys have a favorite faction? For me, it's Last Man Battalion, man. Those guys.
I agree. I mean, they will pick you apart. Rikers too.
Rikers.
Like, I'm a sniper, so I sit back and they will charge you. They will charge you with shotguns, and they will make you run. So I mean, swearing is not what I do on my channel, but I've been doing it just because I'm so frustrated. And so I just curse, and I'm like, so angry because they flank you, they shoot you, and you're dead. And I hate it. But I love it too because, again, I haven't Destiny was not this way. I did not get frustrated with Destiny. And again, sorry for making the comparison, but I mean, that's the way it is. That's what I played for a year and a half. So
Yep.
I'm just very happy to have something that is driving me crazy and making me think about how to play the game and making me rethink my tactics. So, I mean, it's definitely going to push you. Definitely.
Yeah, when you're like picking that initial engagement spot and you have to think about your exit route, you know, like where am I going from here? I mean, that's just next level stuff, you know, and really makes it fun. There was this moment the other day where we were engaging it was Last Man Battalion, and they had actually kind of set up where I had kind of a flanking position. I was off to the right. And just the picture there's one of these Last Man Battalion guys coming down the street, assault rifle up and at the ready and kind of doing the walk forward while firing. It just looked awesome, man. I mean, they looked like, you know, okay, these are tactically trained.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and it fits with all of the story behind it too, because I mean the cleaners are just garbage guys who decided that they're going to do something different, and looters are just random people. But the Last Man Battalion are trained military guys that are going to come and they're going to shoot you. They are going to shoot you. So you need to think about how you're going to shoot them back. So I really like the way they did this. It's not just there are crap guys and in every faction it's these guys are the best and they will be a problem for you. So and again, when you see Last Man Battalion, they have a look to them and you know that you're going to have a problem.
Oh yeah, so I get them confused sometimes with JTF soldiers, just the way that that they look like soldiers. You know, they don't just look like thugs or whatever. I do like the Rikers though. I think I don't know if you guys have come across this, where all of a sudden you just hear like a and you're like, what the? And you look around, there's just some Riker just hitting somebody, continually smashing, continually, non-stopping. I just watched him for like 5 minutes one time, and I'm like, all right, I'm putting this guy out of his misery.
Well, and then I love you shoot them, and then their baseball bat immediately turns into a gun, and they're just shooting. That baseball bat is gone. They are shooting him with.
That's an exotic weapon coming.
Exactly.
Bat gun. The bat gun. Yeah. No, and I think the Rikers are fun too, man. And like you said, the shotgun chargers, you know, they're on you. You got to focus fire them. I mean, there's really no way around it. You're either going to bail and try and keep range, or you know, one of the things I've been doing is just, you know, you get the cover spot, and I'm the same as you, Sauce. I mean, I'm using my marksman rifle most of the time, and I've had a couple really good ones so far. But you know, I've always got something that it's either the AK or I've been using the MP5. I had the AUG for a bit, but something that's a kind of mid-range that can handle that mid-range. And then I've actually got the double-barreled sawed-off as my pistol, which is kind of my, you know, I really want to carry a shotgun because I like having something that can really has some stopping power, close range. But I don't want to use the slot for it, so you know that kind of pistol slot's become my shotgun. You know, it's only 2 shots, but
yeah, I use that same setup with the
Defiler was a life-changing experience. Definitely having that Defiler was crazy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so let's jump now, quick guys. I want to go over to kind of talk some progression systems. We're going to be doing, you know, as we continue to play the game on the show, we're going to be doing more and more kind of very specific content, advice on particular loadouts and things like that. Obviously, week 1, so we're going to talk in some generalities here about, and I want to just kind of go through the progression system and how everybody's finding it. But real quick, let's just do a level check. So I'm sitting at 27, and in terms of my attributes right now, I am skill heavy. I think I'm running like something like a little under 40,000 on my primary DPS, 27,000 and change on my health, and then like 11,000 on my skill power. That's like 909, 911, and 107.4. What levels are you guys at, and where have you found yourself kind of weighting in terms of the attributes?
I mean, I just hit 23, but when I wrote these notes, I was at 22, and I wrote down the numbers, not necessarily exactly what the stat had changed to. So my firearms was at 472, my stamina was 312, and electronics was 584. So that skill power is definitely something I push for. just because if I don't have that stamina stacked, I want to be able to heal myself really quickly, and I run with first aid with the like overshield perk on it, so I have that extra health as well. So I mean, I go skill and then firearms and then stamina.
Yeah, so you're kind of doing one of those. It's not a tank build really because you haven't kind of juiced your stamina, but you've got this kind of selective ability to tank basically, and kind of juice your health when you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Graham, what are you looking like?
So like I said, I am a sliver away from cracking 25, and right now I've been running I haven't bought any weapons yet, and I know we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I have just been using my police MP4 and that Vector as my two kind of assault rifle weapons that I go in there. So yeah, I've been using that, and I kind of do a similar thing where I have the heavy med kit, so I can run in and go up like medium range and just melt guys with my assault rifles, and then once I get a minute, I'll heal myself back up, and that's worked pretty well. I did have the M1A marksman rifle in the beginning before I outranked it a little bit, but even now and then I'll pull that out, even though it's only like 6,000 DPS right now. I still pull that out every once in a while, just when I gotta get someone far away.
Yeah, one of my favorite loadouts is the M44 with the M1A, and just wipe people out. I love it.
Interesting. Yeah, so I was going to say, I think I've run through, I don't know that I've seen all of the marksman rifles in the game, but I've basically just I've always got a marksman rifle on the loadout, and I've had some good ones. The last one I got, so the SRS is a nice gun. I've enjoyed that. I like the M44, but I found a first wave M1A that I only used for about 8 hours because I found something that was a lot better. But
only 8 hours.
That was a great gun, man. The M1A, the first wave one I had this kind of great combination, and I'm kind of spec'd a little bit for marksman damage, so I've got gloves that have a marksman boost. All my mods and stuff, I'm trying to kind of key towards headshot damage and things like that. But the M1A that I had actually had a 10-shot mag, and it was a very fast firing. It almost fired as fast as some of the early pistols. And when I had kind of juiced the thing for stability, it was really, it was almost like just shooting like a semi-automatic, something.
Yeah. Yep.
The trigger.
That's why I like the M1A, because you can get off those inaccurate shots but still kill people. Because I'm not the most accurate sniper, so the M44 having that slow reload and just taking more time is kind of hard for me. So I've had to get used to that. But with the M1A, you can just get off shots, and I love it.
Yeah.
It is almost that semi-automatic fire, and it's great.
Yeah, and I'm running a covert SRS that I've modded, which I like the SRS. It's a nice one too. It's funny. I found a custom 44, and there is something about there is something about that bolt action though, man. Especially
it hits hard.
You feel like you have power in your hands, and you're just gonna snap somebody over, and it's gonna be great.
Thunderstruck.
And really, I think where I found that the most satisfying, I remember there was this one engagement I was at, and I think it was LMB, but I had noticed coming up to it that there was like one of those steps up to a roof, and I actually remembered that, right? And as soon as I engaged with them, I turned around and ran up onto the roof, and then just basically sniped them all out from the roof, which bolt action on the roof, man, you actually feel like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you're actually sniping up there,
Yeah, and nothing feels better than with your M44 having 5 shots, every single one of them lining up being a headshot, and every one of them being a one-hit kill, and you just feel like a beast while you're reloading. You're just like cheering, and you're getting ready for the next one.
Golden, so give us so we know you're level 30, but give us your numbers in terms of your attributes.
All right, my primary DPS is 57,000, a little over 57,000. My health is 49,000. My skill power is 20,000. I'm 23 in the dark zone. My firearm is at 1,358. Stamina is at 1,628, and then my electronics is at 1,746. So I usually run sniper rifle all the time. I've done both of them. Right now I have a high rate of fire one, but it's got a 20% crit on it, so it just rocks them. And then I'm running with the what is that? With the AUG A3 Para, which I suggest if you get it, mod it out, because it's like a laser, and it's stopping power. Anything coming at you, you can take out at least 3 enemies before they get to you with those shotgun bros coming through at you. Just get a headshot on them. That's it. Don't go right down.
Yeah. No, that's a great. I mean, and the nice thing about that too is that thing is steady. The one that I had was just like, I mean, it just vertical.
Yeah.
You just empty the clip.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I was not going to go with this weapon until I used it, because like I said, I'm an LMG guy. You know, I want a big stopping power, but this little thing is it's helped me out a lot.
So is that a submachine gun then?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I run with light machine gun. I do like it. I used the RPK for a long time.
Right, the LMG.
It's super accurate, and I mean it hits hard. But yeah, I do like the sub as long as you have a bigger magazine. Because I mean, otherwise you use one entire clip to kill somebody, and you're reloading while you're trying to get to the next person. So
one of the mods that I have on it for that is the heavy magazine with, what is it? 76% magazine size. So yeah. So and then it's also and then a 20% rate of fire.
Okay.
So it's pretty.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what have you guys been doing to kind of level? I mean, for me, it's been mostly story, side mission, and then, like I said, I've been using the encounters just for skill points. You guys kind of taking a similar tact?
Yeah, I mean, like the story missions will essentially level you up like once at least when you're going through. So that's a guaranteed level there. I generally go with side missions, and as I'm going to a side mission, I go ahead and do those side ones to try and get resources for the base. So that's generally what I've been doing, just running around. Because before I was just doing side missions and just whatever I did on the way, but that is definitely not a good way to level up. So you have to be doing those side missions and story missions as well.
Yeah, same thing. I've been doing the primary missions, and then I kind of fill in the gaps with the side missions. The one thing when you're starting out, and I think is critical, just because it gives you that much little boost, is I believe it's in the tech wing, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to check on that. But
the 10%.
10%, yes.
So that's actually in security. That's the first one that you can unlock in security, and I love it.
Right.
I'm so happy to unlock that first.
Yep.
So that's a must do in security to do the 10% buff before you go.
Yeah, and then I think like Saul said, I mean the stories are a lot of fun, and they do kind of level you through. I didn't find the leveling at all to be, there's some games where you're just like watching your level bar. I mean, it kind of happens on this game. You know what I mean?
It does. It does. I mean, you're having fun while you're doing it. Like in World of Warcraft, you would just be staring at that freaking experience bar, just hoping that it would roll over. You'd be playing for 3 days on one level and just, ugh. So I mean, just you get through there. I've noticed that it takes about an hour to get through a level, at least at the point I'm at, give or take an hour. So I don't know.
Yeah, and what were your guys' kind of approaches when you were looking at like which wing you wanted to unlock? I mean, I thought I had a plan coming in. It's so funny. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and that. And then when I actually got in, so I'm like 80% medical wing, 70 tech, 70 security right now in terms of what's unlocked. But when I actually started, I kind of meandered a bit. It was kind of like, well, I knew I wanted the medical because I wanted to be able to heal, because I figured that staying alive could be challenging. And then I knew I wanted the turret and the sticky bomb. But, from there it's kind of been a little bit meandering. I've started looking at, I was looking at talents and kind of picking some things out. But the thing is that the game is just fun, and it kind of happens naturally. And so, like, I wasn't really following a real specific plan or whatever. I kind of I knew some things I wanted to get, but most of it was just kind of working my way through. And, I'd go to the boo every once in a while and take a look and say, oh, I want to work toward this maybe, or I want to work towards that, and doing that. But I've kind of taken a real natural kind of organic path through the game to this point. I mean, did you guys have a plan, or have you kind of done the same thing? Go ahead. What do you think, Sauce?
I planned on doing medical. Like, that was where I went. Because when I, again, I'm going to say WoW again. Well, I was a healer. I was a holy paladin. So I was healing all the time. That's what I love to do. So I knew I was going to go there first. I started doing that. But as I was playing and shooting people in the head as much as I hoped I could, it occurred to me that having that turret would be useful. So I threw out the turret, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I totally just hit my mic. Sorry. So I throw out the turret, and it is just totally tearing people apart. And I'm like, okay, I need to do something to this. So I run back to the base. I level that part up. I throw on an upgrade to it, and I mean, you play the game and you'll figure out where you need to go. I know people who throw up that security first. I do not use any security perks. I haven't really used any, to be honest with you, because in the beta I used the shield once, and I was like, this is totally useless. I pulled out my shield, I'm shooting you, and I'm still taking damage. Why is this happening? So I haven't touched security since then. So I mean, I go to yeah.
Yeah, I'll say this about security. I mean, I'm kind of probably with you on the ballistic shield. I unlocked the mobile cover. I haven't used it, but smart cover and the survivor link that are both in the security are both excellent. Really, really good.
I need to do due diligence there and give it a try. I really need to.
Yeah, I mean, the smart cover, basically, when you're behind cover, you kind of throw this thing up, and it basically increases the damage and decreases the incoming damage for people that are behind it. And so you basically pop in, pop out of the cover, and it gives you that buff. And it's really, it's great, too, and it kind of extends out. So it doesn't go on just one piece of cover. It'll pick up a couple of the pieces of cover around it.
That's
but
cool.
It's one of those,
I like the mod on that, too, that actually heals you as well, which is nice.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're behind it. I mean, that's a nice one. When you combine that with, like, Tactical Link from the tech, which is another kind of
love Tactical Link.
You put those two together, and you melt dudes. And actually, the Survivor Link, which I just unlocked today, which I've been using, is a damage resistance and speed kind of perk. It's another one of the signature skills. But Graham, I don't know if you noticed when we were running around today, and all of a sudden you were running a lot faster. That was
That was you.
Yeah, that was Survivor Link, basically.
Okay.
Is that Dan? What is that again? What is it? Survivor Link?
Survivor Link. It's the signature skill in the security.
I knew it. We were chasing people down today, and there was one dude that we chased everywhere. And I was like, why is he running so fast? How can he be running this fast?
So that would definitely be something to run with when you're going solo in the Dark Zone.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
We were chasing him for blocks. We actually stole an exotic from this one guy, and then he came and killed one of our guys. So then we had to chase him down. 30 minutes it took us to chase him down and kill him, and then get it back.
I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one who Destiny is completely ruined because I call sidearms hand cannons.
Yeah.
So
It's yellow. It's exotic.
yeah, it's an exotic. It's an exotic. It's not high end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, no, so when I went into the Dark Zone today, that's the loadout that I ran. I ran the Survivor Link, which, again, is a damage resistance and speed.
I gotta
And
look at
then I
that.
ran First Aid, and I ran the Booster Shot mod, which heals you and temporarily increases damage.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of one of those things where, and then I also ran the turret just because it's my safety blanket. But just having another gun. But it was those two worked really well together because if you were kind of under fire, you were dealing with an elite or something, you could simultaneously kind of take care of your incoming damage and buff your existing damage, heal yourself. I mean, the only thing was missing, if I had somebody else that was running Tactical Link, that would be a really sick stack. So,
I mean, I love the way that they've created this game to build off of itself. So you have a group of 4, you can all run different things, and you're just going to work together. I really like that way, because I initially I was like, I don't know why I would want to be able to go medical and be able to go full tech and be able to go full security, but having that team dynamic to it is just, it's amazing. I'm very excited to see how that goes throughout the game.
Yeah,
Totally.
I think tactically, the group that I run with, we're still kind of at the spot where we're mostly like shooting people. You know what I mean? It hasn't really, there's a little bit of up, left, you take right. And we kind of started really intuitively. One of the funniest things is when you're trying to heal somebody and they just run away. We still have
Yeah.
Like with the group heal, I'll shoot it, and it's like I don't realize how small the radius is, so I'll shoot it at like his feet, but he's moving slightly, and it totally misses him.
Just a waste. But it's been interesting to see kind of intuitively, like you'd be in a group, and then you get into this kind of hairy situation, and all of a sudden you see a tactical link go off, you see a smart cover go off, you see a survivor link, and so people are starting to kind of just do it intuitively, and I like the way that they design the game, and I think as people really focus on loadouts and pulling things together, it's going to get even better. So let's do real quick, what is your favorite skill so far? Go ahead, Graham. Is it smart cover for you, or have you got something else?
Dude, I love Tactical Link, man. I actually saved up. When I saw that in there, I knew that I wanted it, so I actually saved up all of my materials, or my supplies. So I had 1,000, so I could unlock that right away. And then I've kind of slowly, now I'm just getting the Seeker Mine, all those other things. But that is just clutch for whenever you see a yellow enemy, or a couple purples, you just pop that and you can melt right through them. So that's been really clutch for me.
Yeah. How about you, Sauce?
I've been really liking the heal, the group one. Using that first aid is really helpful, and like I was talking about, using that overshield part to it is also really great, because I can again be that little bit tanky in addition to what I already had. So I have my skill high enough where if I think it's within the first bar and I pop it, I will go with a little bit, if not a full overshield. So I can run from cover to cover and still be shooting at them without having to worry about dying. So I really like having that first aid, and it generates fast enough that I can be behind cover for a little bit, get off a few shots, have it back up, heal myself if I stick myself out a little bit too far. So I'm really liking that.
Yeah, and I think for me, I'm with Graham on Tactical Link. I really just, when you see those kind of yellow highlights go up, man, it's just like, all right, I can do some damage.
Yeah.
What are you, GoldenBoi? What's kind of your favorite skill so far?
Well, so I'm going to be with Awesome on this. I run medical, but the one that I use and that has helped me out the most is going to be Recovery Link. I can't tell you how many times my party's almost been down, and I'll pop that, and everyone gets revived and gets an overshield, so you can get back in the fight, and right at that very end. But I will say, it's always fun to watch you guys pop off, man. Tactical Leak, and then Jeffrey Seeker Mine. To see that little guy run off, and then the other 5 just spread out, it's awesome.
I love the Seeker Mine. That's so much fun. My little pet to follow me around while I run around.
It's Jeffrey.
It's Jeffrey. Oh, I'm glad he has a name now. Jeffrey.
Yes, that's Jeffrey.
He shall forever known be as
Absolutely. Jeffrey. That is Jeffrey.
Yeah. How about on the talents? You guys have a favorite? So I've got 3 slots unlocked now. I'm just waiting on the 4th. I'm still I feel like I'm at the very intro stage to kind of digging in on the talents. But I'm running, there's one called Strike Back, that when you get to low health, it reduces your active skill cooldowns by 20%, which is kind of, for me, is a staying alive kind of thing, having that, because I'm always running a heal. And then I'm also running something called Steady Hands, which is in the security wing, which enter any cover to reduce recoil by 25% for 10 seconds. So that was really helpful early on, and I still like it. For the guns I was using where I just didn't feel like they were stable enough for me, you just kind of pop that talent on and get a little extra stability when I needed it. Any talents really standing out to you guys so far?
I've just been using the medical. I only have 2 right now unlocked, but I use adrenaline, which is great. That's basically giving you, when not at full health, it gives you that overheal. So you get that overshield whenever you use a med kit, which is really nice. And then also the last one of those talents in the medical thing is called Combat Medic, which is the same thing. It gives the group members within 20 meters 40%. So those are the 2 that I'm running right now. I'm just going heavy medical for now.
Got it. How about you, Sauce? What are you running on the talent side?
I do not even know. I need to pay much more attention to that. I think there's the running between cover that gives you armor, which
Yes.
I've been using a lot. Because, I mean, again, with those shotgun guys, you need to be on your toes, ready to move. And running between cover, you've already been hit once or twice by a shotgun. You need to be able to run from place to place without going down from one hit. So I definitely like that increased armor from that.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. I think this is one of those things too where, as we get further and further into the game, it's only going to get better and better. In terms of the perks, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I guess the one that I've got first, and I'm glad I have, how many med kits can you guys carry? I mean, I can carry 5.
I got 5.
I'm at 4.
5.
I'm at 4 right now.
Yeah, so there was one, okay, here it was. So there was the medical wing upgrade intensive care, gave you an extra slot, and then the clinic gave you an extra slot. And that makes a huge difference for me when I'm out there as well, I'm finding. Just having the 5 med kits.
Yeah, having 5 is nice.
Yeah. I mean, with first aid, I don't have to worry about that much. Again, I hit my mic. But
that's
I think, so close. I being the RPG guy, I like seeing what I have on. So like the thing I liked taking and going for first was having that cosmetics vendor in the base. So I like every day I open and I see what new shader he has for weapons and see what else he has because I like to look good. I don't know about you guys.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I was rocking. I found this purple jacket.
Purple rain, purple rain.
It was like every time me and Golden were playing, he's like, "Man, that's a nice jacket." I've moved over. I'm now rocking something in the green family because I've got a couple different palm beanies, and I feel the need to, spread the love around. But that's been a lot of fun, man. The game skin or the weapon skins, all the different options in terms of appearance. When I first saw it, I was like, yeah, that'll be cool. But I'm really enjoying it, man.
Oh yeah, because being able to differentiate yourself from someone else is just so awesome. I mean, having something that makes you unique, having something that looks different. I mean, that's why people buy cars. I buy a new car because it looks cool. I don't buy it because it's super functional. Sometimes I do, but other times I just want to.
I got a minivan.
I want something that looks real cool. Yeah, I know. I would be 25, single with a minivan. If I was serious about functionality, I would have a minivan, but I don't. So instead, I'm looking for something that makes me look cool. So having all those cosmetic changes that don't have anything to do with your armor is just super awesome, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, no doubt. How are you guys finding that you are acquiring your gear and weapons? And so let's do this: drop versus buy versus craft. I'll go first. I mean, I'm still getting, I'm finding stuff in drops at the end of missions and stuff. But I've actually now started. I've started buying stuff more, particularly for armor. We'll talk about recalibration probably next week, but the ability to kind of tweak the recalibration system, if you haven't played with it, is just excellent. It's really good. And like I said, we're creeping up. I think we're over an hour now, so we'll save something for next week. But one of the things I'm finding is that's my initial routine when I hop on. I roll to all the safe houses. I just fast forward.
Yep.
So
I
you
would
would
really love. I would really love some kind of app that I could use so I could see what everybody was selling instead of having to take 45 minutes to go from base to
Yeah.
base. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I've
only.
actually
Oh,
created a
man.
list of which ones sell guns. That's what I've done.
Yeah, no, I haven't spent a dime yet. I think the first time I spent something was actually on the clothing vendor when I was like, I got to get
Yeah.
some weapon skins. And there's like 1,000 credits, so I was like, I had like 70,000 credits now, so I'm like, yeah, sure. But yeah, I haven't spent anything yet. I was very tempted the other day at one of the or weapon vendors. They had a sniper rifle, a purple, and it was like 68,000. But I was like, let me just wait till I'm hit 30, then I'll start buying. So I held back. I resisted my impulse buy. But yeah, otherwise I'm just waiting to have 30. And I actually got I have Phoenix points now. I have 30 of those.
Nice.
You can get 30 for free if you join Ubisoft Club,
Yeah.
and you go there. So I got a little bit of those, just kind of in preparation for when I do hit 30.
Can you only buy those once? I'm just curious.
Yes.
For
Yes, from
Club?
Ubisoft, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
one
just
thing.
wanted to make sure. What I do is I generally just go for what I drop. And again, guess what? I'm gonna say World of Warcraft again. I learned that in lower levels you do not want to buy things because then you're just wasting your money and you're gonna replace it in 1 or 2 levels. I've gotten toward the end here and I am starting to stock up on purples. So I have gone and bought my custom M44 from a vendor. I just really needed a good sniper, so I went around and I found something that was useful. So I mean, I hang on to what I have until I need something. I needed a marksman rifle that was good, so I went out and bought it. But for the most part, I sit around and wait for those drops. And then what I make at the crafting station is generally upgrades. I don't generally create anything unless I have a purple with that won't cost too terribly much, because again, I'm saving for later on.
Yeah, and I think that's been my kind of general approach too. I've been finding myself buying gear more than weapons. I did buy my sawed-off double barrel sidearm because I wanted one, and it's kind of a very specific drop, and I saw one and I could afford it, and I was like, all right, well, I know I wouldn't, so I'm going to go ahead and get it. But the other thing too that's changed for me, it's funny, I am now selling things much more than disassembling them, which early on I was like, I want the materials, and now I'm kind of finding, I haven't crafted much, and I'm better off having the dollars in hand where I can either go and recalibrate something, which I'm doing sparingly too, by the way, for the same reason that we talked about, just you're cycling through gear so fast. But I'm starting to get to the point now where, as I look at my inventory screen or my general loadout screen, I've got one blue and everybody else is purple. So I'm kind of getting to the spot where, I might have some of these things for a little longer, and so I'm investing in them a bit. But it's been interesting. Hey, one other thing on this, and we're going to wrap it up here shortly, but one other thing on this is, pay attention to your mod slots when you are choosing what you're going to wear. So on the equipped gear, the weapons, the modding is pretty straightforward. It's pretty intuitive. I found it took me a little bit to kind of figure out how to do the modding on the gear. So some gear, even though it might be a higher rarity or higher level, won't have mod slots, and that's all just about how it rolls. But those mod spots are really powerful for, like, let's say you get something and it's going to drop your DPS, but you like the minor perks on it. That's what that mod slot is for. You can get these performance modifications that will just juice firearms or just juice electronics or stamina or something. And so it's kind of another factor to think about when you're weighing between two pieces of gear. Don't just look at the armor number. Don't just look at the kind of attributes or the perks. But to the extent that it's got a mod slot, it offers some flexibility there to kind of shape the thing into what you want it to be a little better. So that's your pro tip.
Yeah, I like those. I haven't figured those out exactly. I think the one thing that is slightly annoying is that they take up inventory slots, and I was like, "What is taking up my
Yeah.
inventory?"
Mhm.
And I
Oh, I
went in
hate
there
it.
and I had like 17 of them, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Let me delete some of these level 1 ones." So yeah, pro tip also, they take up your inventory, so make sure you
Yes,
manage those.
especially those armor ones, because you don't even get armor slots to put those into until later on in the game, so they're just sitting around for
Yeah.
like 10, 15 levels doing nothing.
Yeah,
So I mean, I just hung on to the blues. I've given away everything else.
yeah. And that's a perfect thing to just throw in your stash for later.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
because they really do. It's funny as I look at my gear right now. Of the 6 pieces of gear you can have, I've only got 3 that have mod slots, but they're full and they're using stuff and they're increasing my attributes, which is kind of a really nice thing. Let's do something really quickly, guys, on Endgame. Again, there's only one of us who's here, but I think or who's there, but I think we should kind of talk about it anyway. So, Golden, in your mind, what does kind of the end game look like? How do things change once you hit 30?
It's just I hate to reference Destiny, but it's once you hit 30 again is pretty much where you start, just like any other MMO. But there is that grind. There is that you got to start doing missions over and over. I don't want to really ruin it, but whenever you hit 30, you get a thing called dailies, which we all know what those are. They're missions. You get 2 of them, and every day. Actually, wait, it might be 3. I have to check on that, but there are 3 different levels, and one of them is a challenge level where everything is at 32. We were not successful at all. So that's going to be really cool. It reminds me again, of a Nightfall. So the thing that I'm most worried about is whether or not it's going to get stale doing that same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I do have concerns. I do. As much as I do love the game, as much as I think that it's a lot of fun, which it is, but does it have legs? Can it make it? And I was duped with Destiny, and I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's very easy to get those daily things. Just you get sick of them. I think the one thing that Destiny did right with those was that you could complete them while you were playing, just doing whatever you wanted to do. But I think that kind of took away the novelty of them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It needs to have some balance between something that's kind of fun to do and something that is unique. Because with Destiny, it was like initially it was go out and shoot these 17 things that look exactly like this, and you have to do it exactly this way. And I didn't want to do that, so I didn't do them. So I don't know. They need to balance it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think so. Golden, do you think? I mean, some of the reading I've been doing on this is that one of the changes they made. So they made 2 changes midweek. One of which was to deal with it seemed like they kind of felt like people were accumulating Phoenix credits too quickly.
Too many. Yeah. Well, you could grind them. You could go out, and so what was happening is they have these guys that come out, and they're like how do I put it? Like how in Destiny, whenever these events that would happen throughout the Dark Zone, and so you'd go around fighting these things, and people were just farming them like crazy. And the purpose of the Phoenix coins are to buy, golds, exotics, whatever you want to call them. And people, just they loot caved it. And but Ubisoft came right in and fixed it immediately. I mean, I've never seen any company come in and fix it. Not even Bethesda didn't do it, of course. Activision didn't do it, Bungie didn't do it. But they have been really on top of any type of glitches or any type of discrepancies in the game, which is, I'll take that.
Yeah, and differences. I mean, that definitely shows between the beta and the launched game. I mean, there was a lot of feedback that people gave, and I'm very happy to see that they made that kind of change after launch. I mean, they are definitely staying on top of things, trying to change things as players find them and as things come up. So I'm really happy to see those kinds of things popping up. And I do want to clarify for everybody that I am only making comparisons between Division and Destiny because it's the closest thing that we have to compare it to. It's not necessarily because it is comparable, but this is what we have to compare it to. It's not necessarily what we want to compare it to. It's just, it's there, and that's what we have in terms of reference.
Well, and frankly, I didn't play WoW, so Destiny was the last game that I put, and probably one of the only games I've ever put over 1,000 hours into. And that's what I want out of Division. So, the comparison is not, it's not the same game, but I do think that the comparison it's just what happens because it's, like you said, it's the last kind of frame of reference that we have for a game that's trying to blend genres and, going for kind of a lot of replayability and hopefully a lot of hours that we're going to be able to invest in having fun in the game. So, Golden, real quick on that. So you went into the challenge mode. Now, it's a mix of hard and challenge, right? So a few of the dailies are going to be just basically hard modes of what you've played. And where do the enemies scale there? Are they at 30?
Yeah, so 28 for the regular, 30 for the hard, which is, once you hit 30 and you get some gear, it's not hard. You'll be fine. Challenge mode, that's where it's at, man. I was in the Dark Zone all the way at the top all day today, and and we were fighting against 32s. And let me tell you something, the guys that I were with, their DPS was 110K. Their skill level was like 40K, and I was basically just rolling with them, and so you gotta have some stuff, man. But again, here we are. What's today? Sunday? It hadn't even been out a week yet. And we're rolling through at high level content already. So again, for the people out there that get on and get it done, where are we gonna be, or where is you guys going to be in 2 weeks from now? I know that they did the season pass thing, and I think if I don't know a website you could go to look it up. Dan probably will post it or something, but they have already released everything that they are going to give us in the next year, and it's a lot of content. But and that's different from Destiny 2. Destiny didn't know what the hell they were doing. All of a sudden they didn't know if they had a different writer, they had all this stuff. But this game's done, and they're going to give stuff out weekly. They're going to be changing stuff. So with just the first 6 days, they really they learned from other people's mistakes. Let's just say that, and I think they're going to continue to. So I think, Dan, will we play this game for 1,000 hours? As of right now, I think so, sir.
There you go. That's high praise from.
High praise.
I hope that's the case. I think, for me, I've probably got, like I said, I had this surgery this week, so I actually had a lot more time than I normally will. On a normal week, I'm probably going to game for between 10 and 15 hours. And so I think probably sometime next week, depending on how many times I get on the elliptical and squeeze those sessions, how many morning sessions I do, I might be able to probably get up to 30 by next weekend, and then we'll get in and after. But part of me wants to just honestly get to 29 and then work my way all the way through the Dark Zone, which is probably what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure I experience the kind of pre-30.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's definitely something that people need to do. Don't go all the way to 30 before getting into the Dark Zone, because you will get your butt kicked immediately because you have no experience in the Dark Zone and you're with people who are at 30. So just avoid that fallacy. Just don't get stuck.
Yep.
Yeah, your gear, you're going to be in a spot where you could normally accumulate gear at 29 where you can actually do it, and you're going to find yourself really under-geared. Not just under-leveled, but under-geared when you get in there.
Because at 30, it's in-game. That is in-game. And you do not want to be there as your first time going in. So I have to force myself in there. I've been kind of doing that. So I'm speaking on behalf of myself as well as other people. Just don't get stuck. Don't do it.
Listen back. You can listen back to this throughout the week to remind yourself.
I'm going to listen to this again. I'm going to put this as my ringtone. Go to the Dark Zone. That's it. Like that.
Hey, Golden Graham, any kind of final thoughts as we wrap up here?
No, I think everything I have seen so far is really good. I think the only thing I have is little UI improvements and UI tweaks that I'd love to have made in a patch. For example, I would love to have the same little exclamation point that appears on new gear to pop up in your appearance for when you get
really
new hats and new stuff like that. Just because sometimes I'm like, which one is it? And usually it's the very last one at the bottom. So even if you could just flip that and make it the top, little tweaks like that, and just sorting the information out. But those are all like minor things that are kind of a little bit of my preference too. So I don't want to enforce those, and I'm sure that they've done tons of testing around the best way to organize things. But yeah, otherwise, man, I mean, I'm like, I want to play right now. So yeah, let's end this thing, man, and get in the dark zone.
GoldenBoi, any final thoughts?
It's a great game. It's not perfect. It's a lot of fun. Get with your friends, and if you don't have many people you play with, you will. It's very easy matchmaking. I suggest don't be scared to just roll up to somebody that looks like they might not be in a group and press down the R pad, and group up with them, man. And and let me tell you something. I have met already in the last 6 days, multiple people. I made over 150 friends in Destiny, and I think I'm going to do pretty much the same thing here.
Nice. And Sauce, final thoughts, and also give us your streaming schedule and where people can find you this week.
Alrighty, so first of all, thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. Second of all, yeah, don't be afraid to get into groups. That was something that kind of deterred me in World of Warcraft, Destiny, all kinds of things. But you need to just do it. Just group up with some people you don't know. It's not as bumpy as you think it's going to be. You're going to have fun. You're going to make friends. Some people are not nice. That's kind of the way it is. Some people are not nice. They're going to be terrible people, but that does not reflect on everybody in the game. So, I mean, just group up with people. Going off of what Graham said, go ahead and I would like to see like mods done the same way as the cosmetics are. Like they're grouped in a certain way. I'd like to also be able to see them organized by rarity. So like seeing the superior things first, and I don't know. But
I agree.
Going on from that, I stream about 4 or 5 times a week. I like to do Saturday, Sunday morning, about 7 o'clock Central Time to noon Central Time. And then weeknights I do generally Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time. But if you would like more information on that, I am on Twitter, AwesumSawzz, AwesumSawzz. I'm also on Twitch, same thing, and YouTube. So I really appreciate you having me on, guys. I've had a blast talking with you, and it has been a really great time.
Yeah, for sure, man, and we're glad you're here, and we would love to see, it's been good for Sauce to come on and kind of contribute to the conversation, so we'd love, if you're a listener and you like Twitch, always good to support kind of smaller streams, and, be great to have Sauce see the benefit of being on DZR this week, so check him out for sure. That's going to wrap it up for us, guys. If you are wanting to keep track with Dark Zone Report, you can get us on Twitter at Dark Zone Report. If you have something you'd like to contribute to the show, comment, suggestion, criticism of Mr. T, we love those. Feel free to
Always.
Yes.
Get us our mailbag at gmail.com, and you can get the podcast on iTunes or jump over to darkzonereport.com. As always, thanks for listening. It was a blast to be with you guys, and thanks for everybody that came on the show and everybody that's listening. And, we've said it a bunch of times in the past couple of weeks, as long as you guys keep listening, we're going to keep making these. We're having a blast doing it and having a blast with the game. So please check in. Please let us know what you think and kind of what your exploits are in the game. We'd love to hear it. And thanks again for listening. And until next time, be safe, and we will see you in the Dark Zone.
Bang! Bang! Pow pow!
Go, guys.
Oh, man.
Good show.
We need
Yeah,
to
that
have
was fun.
a T-shirt, Dan, of working on the boobs and the gut. Hey,
Yeah, that and we need to thank GoldenBoi's daughter for joining us
Dude,
on the show. What's her
damn
Twitter
it.
handle?
what is your wife listening to that
had-
has so much cursing going on in it?
Was it, I don't, you know what? It had to be
Like
the
an Andrew
game.
Dice Clay comedy set.
Yeah, was it
Oh, you know what it was? She was watching Mob Wives.
like
There you go.
That's what she
it's like every 2 seconds.
Are you? So I guess I'll have to watch out for that next time. Holy shit.
One of these days, we're gonna teach you to use a mute button, bro. It's gonna be an awesome day.
I
Well,
tried
so
to-
look, here's the thing. All right, so does that mute right there? That doesn't mute it. Am I muted?
No.
Okay, no.
Use your mouse.
No.
Use your mouse or your finger.
No. Whatever. Fucking
We're
bullshit.
We'll get there. It was funny. I was talking to Sauce before we came on, and he was talking about another podcast that they were working on where they actually all record their audio separately and then mix it so it's like pristine, perfectly clean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we're a ways away from doing that, but it would be fun to do a live one sometime too.
Yeah, it would be cool to stream that. It would be fun to watch, and I think it's fun having conversations with the people watching as well. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, we've talked about one of the things that's been a challenge for us is that we started on Google Hangouts because it was really easy in that it just recorded automatically and dropped it on YouTube. And so, we would do that, and then we would I'd rip the audio off the YouTube video. And so we've kind of gotten a little more sophisticated on the audio side, but YouTube still needs some attention. And we've thought about, I pulled down OBS. What do you use when you stream? Do you use OBS or what do you use?
I use OBS. That's what I've used. I like the functionality of it. You're able to put overlays on it. I've done a lot with Adobe Illustrator and things in the last couple months, just learning how to use it and playing around with my backgrounds and things. So it's really nice to use. Lots of different things that you can do with it to make it look real sweet. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, like I downloaded, I've been messing with it or whatever. I think we just need to, at some point, one or a couple of us need to get a capture card and, that'll be the next step, I guess. But it's kind of balancing out all the different distribution channels for content, and you help one and it hurts the other. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would pick something to focus on. I think that's one of the big things I took away from N64 Josh. His suggestion is everything needs to feed towards something. So I think you guys need to feed toward the podcast. Everything that you do goes toward the podcast. The Twitter, YouTube, everything directs you back to the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a blast. It was a blast to be here. It's fun to listen to. I think something that you guys have done well and Mulehorn Gaming does well is you guys have fun on the podcast, and it's like the listener is sitting in there with you, just kind of part of the conversation.
Right.
And I think it's really nice.
Thanks, man.
It's cool to hear,
Yeah,
man.
Appreciate it.
It was funny because we started doing it because we used to raid, Saturday night would be raid night, and at one point it was just like, we got to find a way to bottle some of this because
Oh man, it was. You have no idea, man. With Mr. T, oh my god,
man.
we've had some characters, man. It's been oh my god, yeah.
But so we were kind of like, oh, if we could bottle that, and so then when Division was coming out, we kind of thought, we should do a cast, and that's kind of we have some structure. You need some.
Yeah.
We're trying to definitely let it breathe, and we have some funny moments and things. I think it's a good show, and so it's cool to hear that. It's cool to hear that it comes across that way to the people actually listening.
Yeah, it does. It's fun to listen to, definitely.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for being on, dude. We'll. I want to see. I kind of told you before, like we definitely need Xbox representation. Our scheduling gets a little weird because we got a bunch of guys that kind of cycle in and out. But if you're up for it, man, we'll definitely try and keep you in the loop and get you on some. We'll talk to the guys and stuff. But
yeah,
I thought it was a good vibe, man. You gelled
Totally.
Really.
Yeah, I had fun. It was definitely a blast. It was great hearing everybody's opinions. I do not have really community like this to talk to, unfortunately. I mean, I've been in Family of Gamers for the last couple months, and when I'm able to play with Mulehorn or Dirty Bombs or anybody like that, it's a lot of fun to talk with them about games, but it's really cool to sit here and just have a real strict conversation about what's going on, and that was a real blast to do. So thanks for having me on, definitely.
All right, gents, I gotta go to work.
Yeah,
See you, man.
I gotta pee and go to bed. Later, guys.
See you guys.
Later.
Bye.